In this video, we will try to see how we can load the data into Power BI. Usually, you have multiple sources and that you can connect to in Power BI. All that data sources that you can connect to can be found in a Home tab under Data section. Once you click on Get Data, you have this list of things that you can list of sources that you can connect to using Power BI and get the data. If in case you are planning to get any data from text, Excel workbook and JSON data, you can found that can be found in File tab, and the different databases that you can connect to are listed in database. For the ease of practice, we will be only using the CSV and Excel workbooks to load the data into Power BI right now. So I have a couple of data sources on my desktop. Is this NY property sales and unsales 2017 data. And if you happen to see, this is a CSV file, and even this is a CSV file. Now we will load both the CSV files into Power BI. So in order to do that, I'll just go into Get Data, Text and CSV, Connect, and here it is in this. Once you load the data, you can see that the file origin and delimiter. Basically, this delimiter is what defines the records into columns. Let's just say, if you happen to see that same data in Notepad, you see each and every column in this particular data set is divided by the comma delimiter. That is the reason why it is called a CSV. There are multiple delimiters that you can use as well, like a semicolon and any tab, anything like that. So all those delimiters will define the rows from columns, and new line is always considered to be a new row. I'm loading that NY property sales data into my this. And the difference between load and transform data, if you happen to load the data directly, you see that the data is loaded, but however there are no column names. Instead of the column headers, you get this column 1, column 2, column 3 and up to column 11, which is like the number of columns that I do have in my data set. And if you want to see the data that is loaded, you can always go to transform data. Once you come here, you can see it like the column headers are still reflecting as an independent row, which is a record. And in order to transform this record into a column headers, you can use this again in Home tab. Use first row as headers. Use this. Now if you close and apply, now you see that data is always the column headers are updated over here in Data tab, Data ribbon. That's basically it to loading data into database. And the other thing is, if you want to remove this data into here, you can you select the three dots next to the data set and delete from model. If you do that, the data will be deleted from the database, this loaded data from Power BI, and you see there are no queries here. Now if I had to transform and load data in the very first instance, I'll go ahead and use for get data from text or CSV file, NY property sales. Now instead of clicking on load data, I'll use the transform data. Now in this, I'll just directly make the changes. Use first row as headers, and on this ID column I can leave it as it. Area is always text. Hyperhead is also text. Zip code, I don't think it doesn't make much sense for me to convert into a numerical value. Yeah, land in square feet is something that you can convert to fixed decimal number, because okay, square feet, even this doesn't make sense. You can convert gross feet. Year, I think you can for year you can convert into date type and then change it to only year as well. Date, and again from transform year and this year. That way I got this data. And sales date, here you can see that if I happen to change this to change type, if I directly change it to a date, it's showing as an error. Because, and if I want to undo any kind of changes that I made, I can come here and use the cross arrow. That way the previous step that previous step of changes that has applied will be reverted back. Now the error is because usually in Indian standard we use the date, month and year format. Coming to the data set, you see that the date format is in month, date and year and time. In order to resolve that, you have an option called change type using local. Once you select that, you will be provided with a pop-up. In here, I'll set it as a date and time, and instead of local using India, I'll use English US. That way you can see the errors are removed. And I don't think that somehow I'm getting error in this. I'll remove the year. Sale price can also be decimal. I'll take it as decimal. Now if I close and load, the data is loaded successfully. Column headers are reflecting in all perfect lines. Sales, date and year built. Let's just pull this to here and zip code here. Seems like there is an issue, but regarding to the loading data into the Power BI, this is all it needs to be done. Thank you.